What's up, TBS crew? It's your boy Steph back with another reaction. This time we have Creepypasta Jr. I found something under my Floorboards Creepypasta uploaded March 27th, 2019. Now down in the description will be a link to Creepypasta Jr.'s channel, a link to this original video so y'all can see it for yourselves without my commentary. Also will be links to all of my social medias. Get at your boy and see the personal life that I don't upload to YouTube. Without further ado, let's get into it. It's been a minute since I reacted to some Creepypasta Jr. He's been dropping a lot of content, so we definitely go get up in this.
I started to feel it a few days ago. It was a strange feeling. Something that I had never felt before.
It be like that.
It felt like a mix of being stoned and vertigo both at the same time. Euphoria combined with a paralyzing fear.
Damn.
I wasn't sure what brought on this sensation. While I stood in my kitchen washing dishes,
You got a lot going on.
it was like the feeling had just come out of nowhere.
It be like that.
It's possible I could have just been dehydrated.
Yeah.
Or maybe I had locked my knees while standing at the sink.
I'm never dehydrated.
I found myself hunched over, gripping the countertop to steady myself.
Damn.
My legs began to buckle, and I tried my best to stumble away from the kitchen.
Collapsing.
Not 2 seconds had I exited my kitchen
Like a table.
did the feeling subside. I felt completely fine. I felt like I had felt before I went to do the dishes, in fact.
Your kitchen is haunted.
I stared into my kitchen, still pondering what had caused that. I rubbed my eyes and checked the time. 11:30 p.m. I had work in the morning, so I resigned myself to doing the dishes the following day after work. I shut off the lights, got changed, and quickly drifted off. While at work the next day, I asked my coworker if he had ever felt the feeling I had previously described. He made a snide remark about feeling it when he slept with my mother last night.
Oh,
And I
wow.
just responded to him with a very slow clap. The workday ended and I drove back home.
How original.
I tossed my bag on the sofa and went into the kitchen to grab myself something to drink. As I was making my way to the fridge, I passed by the sink and I felt my knees grow weak. The strange feeling was still there. I staggered backwards towards the kitchen doorway and leaned against it. When I did, the feeling began to fade. I took a few steps away from the kitchen and the feeling subsided more and more. I considered that my kitchen was haunted.
Right.
But quickly banished that idea. Though there was something strange happening. I took a few steps towards the kitchen door and I could faintly feel it.
Haunted as
Like
fuck.
an itch in the back of my mind. I took a single step into my kitchen, and it grew in intensity. I left my kitchen and quickly grabbed my laptop. I began searching for articles or forums regarding what I was feeling. There was almost nothing reported apart from medical and mental issues. I briefly considered my health, but I felt fine outside of my kitchen. I then thought about my mental status, but wondered why my brain would cause this feeling in only one specific spot. The search results became fewer and fewer after that. Some sites mentioned possible mold or lead poisoning. These both seemed much more likely, as
Yeah.
under my sink could very well have been mold.
Yeah?
And I had been drinking tap water up until I first felt that feeling.
But that's not the case, though.
I breathed a happy sigh and contacted a mold removal company.
Haunted.
They said they would be able to send someone out first thing in the morning. Since I had the next day off, I agreed. After I was finished, and since I couldn't seem to enter my kitchen, I ordered a pizza for dinner and went to bed. The following morning, I was awoken to my doorbell chiming loudly. I looked at the clock on my nightstand. 7 a.m.
Damn.
I groaned as I rolled out of bed and groggily made my way to the door.
Early as fuck.
The man standing on the other side was far too happy this early in the morning. He greeted me with a nasally voice that grated on my eardrums. I sleepily led him to the doorway to my kitchen and pointed to the sink. Even though I was still half asleep, I could still feel that sensation. The man nodded to me and walked into my kitchen. I half expected him to collapse, but he didn't. He just sauntered over, opened the cupboards underneath my sink, and began to examine it. Seeing him unaffected by this feeling caused the rest of my brain to wake up. He scanned around with his pocket-sized flashlight for a few minutes before standing up and walking over to me. He told me there was absolutely no mold that he could see.
Figured that.
I was stunned. I thought for sure that was the cause of all this.
Flabbergasted.
While I had him here, I asked him to check my bathroom as well.
Astonished.
Yet, that only yielded the same results. He apologized for not being much more help, and he left. After he left, I walked back over to my kitchen and noticed that the cupboards were still open.
Do you still gotta pay for
I
that?
inhaled a deep breath and walked over to them. The feeling was overwhelming, yet I persisted. I knelt down and examined the cupboards for myself. There was absolutely nothing under my sink aside from a couple cleaning products. While I was on my hands and knees looking under the sink, I felt something new. A warm sensation coming up from the floor in front of my sink. I felt around trying to keep my mind focused, and realized that there was heat coming from a small section underneath my floor.
What?
That had to be the cause of all this, I thought. I crawled on my hands and knees out of the kitchen. Once I crossed the threshold, I stood up and went to my utility closet to retrieve my crowbar. I once again entered my kitchen. The drone was growing more and more intense. I jammed the end of the crowbar into the floor and began to pry away the wood. 2 planks came free, and as soon as they did, that feeling completely stopped. The sudden release from that intense sensation caused me to exhale deeply. I sat next to the newly formed hole in my floor for a few minutes, trying to catch my breath. As my breathing calmed, I felt my curiosity grow. I wondered what could have been in my floor that caused all this. I looked inside, and what I saw was not what I was expecting. I thought that there might have been some irradiated material or something, but what I found was a small black box.
Radioactive.
The box was metal and appeared to have strange markings engraved into it.
Radioactive.
It wasn't much bigger than a shoebox. I fished it out of the floor and set it in front of me.
Ah, shit.
A million questions began to run through my head. Where did it come from? Why was it giving off heat? And what was inside? I flipped open the 2 metal latches on the front of the box and slowly peeled back the lid.
Be careful.
I half expected it to explode in my face when I did, yet nothing happened. There was a handwritten note inside. When I first looked at it, I immediately recognized it as my own handwriting.
What?
Though that couldn't be possible, as I hadn't written any note. Nor did I place it in any box like this.
Under the floorboard.
Not to mention the fact that this box seemed to have been in the floor for a very long time.
Right.
The note said, "I'm sorry. I've made a huge mistake,
It'd be
and I'm
like
trying to fix it. Hopefully I can find a way. I must find a way." Next to the note in the box was a loaded handgun.
Oh.
I'm not much of a gun person, so I gently picked it up and set it away from the box. The last item inside was a photograph, and seeing it caused my heart to beat faster. The picture was of me, though I looked different. I appeared much older in the photograph. Standing next to me was a woman who I immediately recognized as my girlfriend Becky, but she too also looked older.
That Becky.
There was no way this picture could exist. Because not only had I never taken a picture like this, but I had just started dating Becky 2 weeks ago.
Is this from the future?
I placed everything back into the small metallic box, and placed the box in my closet for safekeeping. I repaired the floor in my kitchen, and I spent the entire night thinking about what I had found. This discovery has brought on so many unanswered questions.
It'd be like that.
Like, was that truly me and my girlfriend in that photograph? If it was, then why did I put it in a box with a gun? More importantly, how did that box get underneath my floorboards to begin with? This house was built a decade ago, long before I even bought it. And then there's the note. Who exactly was I apologizing to? And what was the huge mistake I made?
Did you kill Becky?
Lastly, there's that strange feeling the box was emitting. That euphoric vertigo feeling. I'm not sure why that was happening or why it stopped once the box was revealed. I'm not going to pretend that I understand any of this because, quite frankly, I don't. I'm not even sure who to talk to about this type of thing. Do any of you have any ideas regarding my situation? Because I'm at a loss here.
It be like that.
I think I'm going to try to examine the box more closely tomorrow. And I'll try my best to let you all know if I do find anything more.
I don't know, maybe he ended up killing Becky and wrote the note, and now her spirit is like, I don't know. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Shit, I don't know. What do y'all think? Shit, I don't fucking know. Shit, I'm drawing a blank right now. But that's the only thing I can think of. What do y'all think, with everything that, the story told us? What prediction do you guys have, or what are you guys taking away from it? That's the phrase I meant to use. Like, what do you guys think of this story? I don't know, bro. I'm assuming they were together a long time and he ended up killing her, maybe shooting her with the gun, and he wrote the note, and I guess maybe her spirit came back to haunt the area where he killed her at, which is at the kitchen sink. Or I don't know. Y'all know where I'm going with that. What do y'all think? What are y'all drawing away from this? What are your opinions and all that? Leave that down in the comment section below, because I feel a little slow right now. That is it for this video, y'all. If you like my reaction, like the video, comment on the video, and share the video. And if you really liked it, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. And tap that bell icon so you will get notified every time your boy Steph drop new content, which I do 7 times a week. That is all I got for y'all this time around. Your boy Steph is out.